To save her cubs, the lioness accidentally pushes the cub over a cliff. Life and death are unknown. A few minutes ago they were lazily sleeping on the grass, but then a strong male lion appeared behind them, with a lioness in his back. The lives of the cub and the lioness are in serious danger. As soon as the male lion spots them, he will kill them without hesitation. The lioness has realized that the situation is not right. He sits up suddenly. He looks at the lioness in front of him, just as he's ready to strike. The male is already on his right. The lioness has to keep her noble head down, to avoid being spotted by the male. Under a large tree, the male suddenly stops in his tracks. The lion cubs are still fussing about. They are making noisy noises, and climbing on top of the lioness. Unaware of the danger that is coming their way, the male lion was already gone. Just then, he seems to have heard the cubs scuffling. Suddenly he turns back. The atmosphere is very tense. It's like the air has frozen. Offense is the best protection. The lioness charges straight at the male. Just then, the male's lioness comes to his aid. They're outnumbered. The lioness retreats to look after her cubs. He sits quietly watching the male lion's movements. When the lioness has gone, the male comes strutting over to check the scene. By now the lioness and the lion cub have disappeared without a trace. The male lion is just coming of age. He needs to establish a territory of his own. He is very sensitive to the cubs of other lions. It turns out that while the lioness was fighting with the lion, the panicked cub fell off a cliff. It was a very difficult situation. His mother was sitting right behind him. He didn't hear his cries for help. The lion cub is hanging in the middle of the cliff. He's in a dilemma, but he's very strong and he keeps climbing up. The soil is soft on this cliff face. The lion cub can't put any weight on it. If he's not careful, he'll slip off the cliff. He lies there shivering. He has tried this place a million times before. He looks fearfully towards the base of the cliff, climbing hard upwards. He is exhausted, desperate. The lion cub leaps again, but unfortunately the soil is soft. No matter how hard he tries, there's no escaping his failure. Alone and helpless, the lion cub screams his heart out. It's so cute to see him trying. There was nothing else to do. Back to the same spot again. The lion cub lies there with a whim, and so he fights again and again, but each time he is knocked back to square one. The lion cub's desire to survive is strong, though it's hard, but he's still trying his best. It's a very emotional scene. Just then, the lioness faintly hears the sound of the cub's cry. The lioness follows the sound and finds the cub, but the cliff stopped her in her tracks, trying to bring her cub up. It's not going to be easy. When she sees her mother, the lion cub is on the verge of an emotional breakdown. He tries even harder to climb up. He almost slips and falls. The lioness is standing on the top in great distress, seeing the lion cubs down there. He can't do anything. He's also overwhelmed with anxiety. He's up there trying to do something, but he couldn't find a better way. The earth above is collapsing under his feet. To save the cubs, the lioness has to fight to the death, and just as he slides down, the lion cub is kicked off the cliff by his back foot. His fate is uncertain. What happened to the lion cub? Let's guess. That's it for today's story. Thank you for watching and subscribing.